The story begins with blood on the ground, and a girl who has seen this scene far too many times. She recognizes the men lying unconscious before her, the first and second sons of the Orca family. One dead, one blind, and one truth that never changes: she never makes it past the age of 22. This isn't her first time living this life. Calypso has already died 3 times. In every attempt, no matter how hard she tries, she fails. Each time, she's born again into the same villainous Orca family. A family of power, cruelty, and endless expectations. And each time, her life ends before she can find happiness. But Calypso isn't ordinary, she's a regressor. Every time she dies, she returns again. And though she's tired of the cycle, she refuses to give up. In this world, she was meant to play the role of a pitiful side character. In what should have been a warm, family-themed parenting story, she's forced to live as the doomed daughter of the Orca Duke's bloodline. No matter what she does, whether she tries to seduce the original male lead, change the plot, or fight fate, every path ends in tragedy. But this time, she dares to hope. When she catches sight of Soul Street, a path said to lead home, she clings to the idea that maybe, just maybe, there's a way back. And if not, she will find another road to survival. Her chance comes on the day of the naming ceremony. Ocula Equatio, the head of the Orca family, arrives to see her. This powerful woman, her grandmother, is feared even among the whales of the deep. Cold, calculating, and merciless, Ocula decides the fate of every child born into the family. Calypso, still just a child in body, knows this moment will determine whether she lives, or whether she's discarded. The Orca family values strength above all else, and children without power are seen as useless. When the test begins, Ocula seems disappointed. Calypso shows no signs of awakening the family's legendary power of water, the gift that allows them to command aquatic life even on land. Ocula is ready to dismiss her, already preparing to abandon the girl as a failed heir. But Calypso refuses to accept death again. Summoning all the wit of a woman who has lived 4 lives, she does something no one expects. She calls out to Ocula, and calls her Grandma. The room falls silent. No one expects a child this young to speak so clearly, let alone show such awareness. Among the Orca, whale children aren't supposed to speak until the age of 5. Yet here is Calypso, not only speaking, but showing intelligence far beyond her years. Ocula studies her, intrigued. Perhaps this child isn't so worthless after all. Calypso doubles down, proving she's clever, bold, and unafraid. She even tugs on her grandmother's hair, showing she can act with confidence. For the first time, Ocula laughs. She decides to give Calypso a chance. Instead of discarding her, she will send the girl to an educational institution. If Calypso proves herself there, she will live. If not, she'll be expelled and cast aside forever. Calypso knows the truth: to survive long enough to be sold as a dragon's bride, a role she can use to escape her cursed family, she must live at least until the age of 10. From this moment, her goal is clear. She will survive. She will grow stronger. And she will make sure this life doesn't end like the last 3. With a determined heart, Calypso vows that this time, she will conquer her fate, even if it means bending dragons to her will. After earning a sliver of recognition from her grandmother, Calypso is moved to a new residence. The servants treat her with cold indifference, their eyes filled with the same disdain that has haunted her through every life. To them, she is nothing more than a weak child, one who failed to awaken the power of water. In the Orca family, that makes her disposable. But Calypso refuses to be treated like trash. She knows that to survive, she must gain a powerful ally. And in this ruthless family, the strongest protector she can find is none other than Pierre Equacetal, her father. Pierre is a man shrouded in mystery. Feared for his overwhelming strength, yet infamous for his cold detachment, he has never cared for his children. He did not come when Calypso was born. He ignored her older brothers. And he turns his back on family politics as if none of it concerns him. But Calypso has lived long enough to know better. Beneath his indifference lies the power of a man unmatched. If she can earn even a fraction of his attention, she might survive this cursed life. So one day, with her tiny hands trembling but her spirit unyielding, she approaches him. She greets him with a bright smile, offering him a piece of dried fruit she had collected herself. Her words are polite, her tone gentle, carefully chosen to break through his icy silence. At first, Pierre does not respond. His gaze is cold, his posture distant, as if she were nothing more than a passing shadow. But Calypso refuses to give up. She teases him, asking if he is lonely, if he always sits alone like this. She wonders aloud if he has any friends, laughing softly when there's no answer. Slowly, her persistence cracks his indifference. At last, he acknowledges her presence. For Calypso, that single response is a victory. From then on, she clings to every opportunity to prove herself. And soon, she begs him to teach her the power of water. Pierre does not hold back. If anything, his methods are harsher than the merciless sea. To awaken her hidden potential, he throws her into grueling trials. He believes awakening only comes in life or death moments, so he subjects her to extremes no child should face, forcing her underwater until her lungs burn, pressing her beneath crushing waves of power, pushing her fragile body to its absolute limits. For a girl only 3 years old, it is torment. Her body trembles, her vision blurs, and more than once she faints, collapsing into the cold embrace of exhaustion. But Calypso is no ordinary child. She has lived and died 3 times before. She knows pain, she knows failure, and she knows despair. And because of that, she refuses to surrender. When Pierre mocks her weakness, she answers with sharp words, reminding him that even the greatest geniuses start small. When he questions her endurance, she proudly flexes her tiny muscles, declaring that she will become the best, no matter the cost. Every insult only fuels her fire. Every failure only sharpens her will. And slowly, Pierre begins to change. Though he hides it behind a mask of indifference, he cannot ignore this daughter who refuses to break. In her eyes, he sees a stubborn flame, burning brighter than the despair he has long embraced. Against his better judgment, he starts to guide her, not as a father, but as a reluctant master. He teaches her that the power of water is more than magic. It is a force that shapes the body, strengthens the spirit, and bends the very laws of nature. He pushes her not just to survive, but to grow. For Calypso, every drop of sweat, every aching muscle, and every painful gasp for breath is more than suffering. It is proof that she is alive. Proof that she is moving forward. Proof that this time, she might finally break free from the cursed cycle that has bound her for so long. She knows the truth. If she fails here, she will lose everything: her father's attention, her place in the family, her fragile chance at survival. So she clenches her fists, bloodied but determined, and swears that she will master the power of water. No matter how harsh the training. No matter how cruel her father pretends to be. No matter how hopeless it may seem. This time, she will not die as the pitiful daughter of the Orca family. The day finally arrives for Calypso to enter the primary education institution, a place where the children of the Orca family are tested, trained, and molded into the future of the clan. For most children, this is a place of learning. But for Calypso, it is a battlefield. If she fails here, she will be expelled, abandoned, and forgotten. As she arrives, the head of the institution, Miss Layla, greets her. Layla had been warned about this child, but the sight before her is still shocking. At only 3 years old, Calypso speaks fluently, walks with confidence, and carries herself like a young noblewoman. Layla can't hide her surprise, such maturity is unheard of for someone so young. But Calypso is no ordinary child. Behind those eyes are the memories of multiple lives, failures, and deaths. She knows what is at stake. Still, the academy is no place for kindness. Even before classes begin, rumors already swirl. Whispers follow her in the halls, that's the useless one. She was born without power. Isn't she the one destined to be sold as a dragon's bride? Cruel words from children, but each word cuts like a blade. Calypso doesn't let it show. She smiles, calm and unbothered, as though the whispers are nothing more than background noise. Inside, however, she sharpens her resolve. She will not let this life be decided by gossip. When it comes time to be assigned a class, Calypso stuns everyone. Instead of accepting a beginner's class for her age group, she boldly requests the Alpha section, the class of the most gifted students, older children who are considered the pride of the institution. The room stills. Even Layla hesitates. She warns Calypso that entering such a class comes with consequences. She will be judged not as a toddler, but as a genius. Any mistake will bring shame, and any weakness will be magnified. But Calypso does not waver. With a steady gaze, she insists on the Alpha class. If she wants to catch her grandmother's attention, she must stand where only the best stand. Her request is granted. And with that, Calypso steps into the classroom where her real trial begins. The moment she enters, all eyes fall on her. The older children whisper, their voices filled with doubt, curiosity, and envy. Some admire her beauty, while others laugh at the idea of a powerless child standing among them. But Calypso does not falter. She introduces herself with flawless manners, speaking not like a 3-year-old but like a princess addressing her court. Her words carry weight, and her poise unsettles the students. Even the teacher raises an eyebrow, surprised by her maturity. Yet not everyone is impressed. Among the students is a boy named Karen, 8 years old, known for his strength, and infamous for his arrogance. He sneers at Calypso, seeing her not as a classmate, but as prey. In his eyes, she is nothing more than a little girl playing dress-up as a genius. He mocks her openly, expecting tears. Expecting her to crumble. But Calypso laughs. With a sharp tongue, she strikes back. She points out that at his age, he should already be in the intermediate institution. For him to still be in the primary section means only one thing: he is a failure. The class gasps. Whispers rise again, this time directed at Karen. His face burns with humiliation. Unable to contain his rage, Karen charges at her. He swings, confident that his strength will overwhelm this tiny girl. But Calypso moves with precision. She sidesteps, grabs his collar, and with a swift motion slams him down onto the ground. The room falls silent. The teacher watches in disbelief. How could a child so young, without an awakened power, subdue a boy twice her age? Yet the proof is before their eyes. Calypso stands tall, unshaken, while Karen lies stunned on the floor. Calypso looks down at him, her voice calm but sharp as a blade. She tells him she will not tolerate insults. That she did not wish for violence, but she refuses to bow to anyone who mocks her. Her words echo through the classroom, leaving everyone stunned. For the first time, the whispers stop. From that moment on, the rumors shift. Some call her a prodigy. Others insist she must be hiding a secret. But one thing is undeniable: Calypso has seized the spotlight. No longer dismissed as the powerless daughter destined for failure, she has claimed her place in the academy. And with that victory, she has taken her first step toward survival. But Calypso knows better than anyone, this is only the beginning. The academy is filled with rivals, plots, and dangers that go far beyond a single arrogant boy. Every step forward will bring new enemies. Every victory will make her a bigger target. Still, she smiles to herself. Because this time, she refuses to lose. This time, she will rise above them all. Calypso's days at the academy soon become a delicate dance of survival. Each lesson, each interaction, is another chance to prove herself, or another trap waiting to see her fail. And though she has silenced some of the whispers with her victory over Karen, envy has a way of spreading faster than respect. The older children, especially those from powerful branches of the Orca family, do not take kindly to her sudden rise. They whisper behind her back, scoff at her every move, and search for weaknesses to exploit. For them, it is unthinkable that a child barely 3 years old should stand on equal footing with them. And yet, Calypso stands tall. Every day, she sharpens her wits and strengthens her body through the brutal training Pierre forces upon her. Every night, she reviews her past lives, recalling the mistakes that led to failure before. In this new life, she is determined not to repeat them. But in a world ruled by power, rivals are inevitable. It isn't long before another challenge arises, this time, not from an arrogant boy, but from a group. Several older students, unwilling to accept her presence in the Alpha section, decide to teach her a lesson. They corner her, mocking her for being powerless, threatening to make her regret stepping out of her place. Calypso, however, is not afraid. With sharp words and sharper eyes, she dismantles their confidence piece by piece. She exposes their weaknesses, mocks their hypocrisy, and makes it clear she will not bow. When one of them dares to push further, she responds with ruthless precision, quick movements, clever counters, and a strike so clean that even the onlookers are left speechless. Word spreads once again: Calypso is no ordinary child. But not all who watch her rise are enemies. Among the students are the Beluga twins, children from another branch of the family. At first, they observe her from a distance, curious about the tiny girl who refuses to bend. Unlike the others, they do not mock her. Instead, they see in her a spirit that demands respect. Over time, they approach her, offering hesitant words of friendship. For Calypso, this is a turning point. She has always fought alone, always lived with the memory of betrayal. Yet now, in this life, she begins to understand the value of allies. The bond grows slowly: shared laughter between lessons, whispered strategies during group tasks, and silent support when the others glare at her with envy. The Beluga twins do not treat her as a weakling, nor as a threat. They treat her as a comrade. And for the first time in many lifetimes, Calypso feels something she had nearly forgotten: companionship. Still, her rise does not go unnoticed. Her grandmother hears the rumors of her brilliance. Her brothers, scattered throughout the Orca family, catch whispers of her growing reputation. And her enemies, both within the academy and beyond, sharpen their claws. One evening, her older brother, Bayon, a boy known for his cruelty, decides to test her himself. Unlike Karen, Bayon is not just arrogant. He is dangerous. Stronger, sharper, and far more ruthless. He mocks her openly, laughing at the thought of his tiny sister pretending to be a genius. But Calypso does not flinch. She meets his gaze with calm defiance, unbothered by his threats. Their clash is not just of fists, but of wills. And though the gap in strength is vast, she holds her ground long enough to force him to acknowledge her spirit. It is not a victory, but it is not a loss either. For in the Orca family, to survive against someone like Bayon is a triumph in itself. Slowly, piece by piece, Calypso builds her place. From silencing bullies to earning allies. From standing Against her cruel brother too. Winning the attention of her family elders. She weaves a web of influence and respect. Each step forward secures her survival. Each battle won proves she is no longer the helpless child fated to die before 22. Yet in her heart, she knows this is only the beginning.